just business news, we're news for business people.
Hello and welcome. You're watching the F&O Show on BloombergQuint Live, India's first digital live streaming business news service. I'm Navneet Dsouza.
Hi, I'm Agam Vakil. But on the whole, as far as the markets are concerned, well, we aren't looking at too much movement. We have seen the Nifty move up by as much as, 50-odd points. We are clearly above the mark of 10,050.
Right. We're almost trading at days high currently. Nifty at about 10,058 levels. In fact, the volatility is below the mark of 11. Remember, yesterday's closing was above that. So down about 2.5% is India VIX. The Bank Nifty is also showing some sort of strength in today's session. Let's just pull up Bank Nifty. That's been trading around levels of 24,436. Remember, we're watching out for that level of 24,500 on Bank Nifty. And remember, tomorrow is the Bank Nifty weekly options expiry day. So ahead of that, we're seeing positive ticks coming about. But let's focus on Nifty and what's the options data suggesting so far. If you look at the put side, we've seen the Nifty PCR rising in the last few trading sessions. In fact, the Nifty PCR is almost at series high. I'm talking about the October series. Put trading still continues on strikes like 9,900, 10,000 as well as 10,100. Now, until yesterday, the bulls and bears both were fighting for the 10,000 mark, but looks like after crossing the 10,050 mark, it is the 10,100 strike now which is in focus. We've seen open interest addition coming up for that strike both on call as well as put side. But for the day, the most active strike remains the 10,000 put strike, which so far has added almost 10 lakh shares. So going ahead now, the first resistance for the market will be around those levels of all-time high, which is at about 10,175. And in terms of participant activity, FIs yesterday, well, they unwound a little bit of their long position and some sort of shorts were added on the index futures, Agam.
Right. Let's take a look at NIIT Technologies futures. Now, this is a stock which has gained only as much as 1% right now, but its open interest is surging well over 20% right now. We are looking at a substantial amount of long positions being built up in NIIT Technologies, and we are expecting earnings, so that's possibly a reason why a lot of traders are now taking positions in that company. The other stock, of course, I also wanted to bring into focus was Voltas. Voltas, of course, has been consolidating in a range over the last 5 sessions. What it has also done is seen a surge in open interest today, again towards the fresh longs. So there you have it. That's the list of the big movers in terms of open interest gains. NIIT Technologies, Voltas, NBCC, RBL Bank, and Havells India. Let's also take a look at some of the other counters which are seeing unwinding in trade. Well, we have seen a decline in open interest for Godfrey Phillips, Bharti Infratel, Ramco Cements, NMDC, and Hexaware. But, coming to Voltas as well, as I was saying, we are looking at consolidation in that particular counter, at least in the past 3 to 4 sessions. And today is a day where you see a surge of nearly 16% in open interest. Fresh long seen there. Was going to have to wait and watch as to what traders do next with Voltas, Navneet.
Clearly, so watch out for that counter, which is trading in the positive today. Well, at a time when the base for the market is moving higher, in fact, the support also which one is seeing on Nifty as well as Bank Nifty has moved higher. What kind of levels should one watch out for? We'll get our experts on board. But before we get our guest on the show, here's a reminder. If you have any queries regarding the futures and options market, you can call us now on 022-4540-4141 or just write to us on Twitter, Facebook with AskBQ hashtag. Let's welcome our F&O experts of the day, Gaurav Bisa, derivative analyst at LKP Securities, and Hemant Tukral of Aditya Birla Money are joining us now. Good morning to both of you, gentlemen, and appreciate you joining us today on BloombergQuint. Hemant, coming to you, Nifty almost at days high, Bank Nifty also inching very closer to its mark of 24,500. What should one do at these levels?
I think from last lot of weeks we have been maintaining bullish undertone, and I don't see that changing at all, because see, two main indicators which we have been discussing, in fact you have been also pinpointing. One, moment volatility index went below 12. I was very clear that bulls have come back in full form, and now what we are seeing is that put writers trying to shift with every base. So important is that today they managed to maintain 10,000 put writers levels. We are seeing that 10,000 strike price PCR is above 1. That means puts are taking over that. And if they are able to maintain that, that means you don't go below 10,000. Then I think you should add another 70 to 80 points from the rally side. So 10,130, 10,150 cannot be ruled out. Also important is Bank Nifty tomorrow's expiry. If you can cross 24,500, then I think all numbers are just numbers, because then the next level for Bank Nifty is 24,900 to 850. So I think it's crucial for Nifty and Bank Nifty both approaching good levels, but overall the setup still looks bullish. You just have to revise the stop losses. So I would be revising the stop loss to 10,000 now and a target to 10,130 to 10,150 for the time being.
Okay, so that's the view coming in on the Nifty, where 10,130 to 10,150 cannot be ruled out, according to Hemant. But Gaurav, coming to you, good morning. How are you viewing the moves on the benchmarks in the near term?
Good morning. Even I agree with Hemant, and the more lucrative trade still remains in Bank Nifty. Earlier also we had a discussion that Bank Nifty looks more prominent and more trustworthy in terms of momentum. Bank Nifty, yes, 10,000 call option command, very high concentration, is trading above those levels, so that becomes a stop loss now. 10,130, 10,140, the previous high levels can be touched upon, but 24,500 is a very crucial level for Bank Nifty. If it sustains that, then a 500-point up move cannot be ruled out. So fresh buying is advised only Bank Nifty when it sustains 24,500. That would make it quite lucrative, and one can expect 400, 500-point quick up move coming in. And there can be a lot of banking stocks that will give you a good breakout also at that point in time.
All right, so a consensus bullish view coming on the markets. But let's shift focus and talk about the options corner, where our experts share with us their option strategies on Nifty as well as Bank Nifty. Gaurav, I can see just a day before the weekly options expiry, you have a strategy on Bank Nifty.
Well, yes, for Bank Nifty, as I mentioned, 24,500 is a crucial level. Even at these levels, one can go with a weekly option sort of for 24,700, 24,800 would be lucrative. But if somebody wants to take an aggressive trade, then 24,500 is a level where one can buy Bank Nifty for targets of 24,850 to 24,900. The stop losses would be 24,350.
Okay, Hemant has already discussed with us about him staying with the 10,050 call and, with a stop loss around 57, a target of 114 according to the data I have. But Hemant, any view on the Bank Nifty and perhaps an option strategy on that one?
See, Bank Nifty, I would basically will be going long then on 24,500 call only for next week. That means for the next tomorrow's weekly expiry, because if you manage to cross 24,500, the premium will go double from the current levels in any case. And the stop loss has to be, you don't have to keep any stop loss, because the premium itself will become the stop loss. So Bank Nifty, I think crucial is that it should close above 24,500. I think that remains the pivot point. But Nifty, as I have already discussed, I'm very bullish seeing the setup right now.
All right, bullish setup on Nifty, and for Bank Nifty, watch out for that mark of 24,500. Let's also discuss a couple of active stock futures. Well, the telecom stocks are picking up some kind of buying momentum. In fact, so to say, you've got stocks like Idea Cellular as well as Bharti Airtel, which are trading in the positive territory. Gaurav, would you recommend any sort of trade on these two counters, which so far have been underperforming?
No, I would not like to trade in names that have not been performing, that have not participated so much. There can be a technical bounce back trading near the supports, 2-3%, 4% kind of up move coming in, but they would not be a conviction trade. So I would rather be interested in stocks that have either given a breakout on the option front or they have been in the momentum already. So I would, at this point, when Nifty and Bank trading near the immediate resistance levels, buying such stocks can be a little bit risky.
Okay, so staying away from not so very active stocks, but we're going to move on and address the queries of our viewers. First, we take the callers. The first caller is Preeti Gupta, who is calling us from Pune. Hi, Preeti. Thanks for joining us. Tell us, what would you like to know from our experts?
Hi. So I bought 10,000 Nifty strike at around 80 levels. Is it time for me to book profits, or what should I do?
Well, according to our experts, Preeti, and they've already addressed this particular query, they do suggest that you hold on to these levels and perhaps wait for higher levels before you can, book out of your position in the 10,000 call. And on the whole, of course, we've discussed this call quite extensively, Navneet. So I think we should move on to the next caller.
Sure, and we've got a lot of live queries coming on Facebook. This one comes from Kriti Suri. She's purchased Hindustan Zinc at about 318. For short term, actually, she wants to know what should she do, hold or sell. Hindustan Zinc today is trading at those levels of 316. That's the futures price, and she's bought it at about 318. Hemant, what do you think she should do here? Should she book out because she's making a little bit of losses?
Can you just repeat the stock name? I could not hear it clearly.
Sure, Heyman. The query is on Hindustan Zinc, which Preeti has purchased at levels of 318, and currently the spot price is 315.
No, I could make out what she is asking, but I would be holding on to positions. I still feel the metal index rallies is not over. Yes, particularly Hindustan Zinc is seeing some profit taking coming in every time it tries to move towards 320 zone. But overall, the metal setup, I'm very bullish. So it's just one day or 2 days here or there which is required. So she just has to keep patience and a stop loss of 310. I feel that Hindustan Zinc should cross 322. We have a target of 329 on the same. So I will ask her to hold on to the positions.
Okay, so we'll move on to the next one. This one is from social media. The first query is coming from Mahesh Bhalla, who writes to us on Twitter, and he is long one lot of South Indian Bank futures at 30.5. The stock fell yesterday post-earnings. He wants to know if it is the right time to exit. Gaurav, if I can come to you on South Indian Bank, its futures currently trading at 30.7. What can he do?
I don't particularly like South Indian Bank. It has a good breakout about 32.5. If you look at the option concentration as well, you'll see a lot of writing has been happening in 32.5 call options. So as long as it is below these levels, I would not be too keen on being long in the name. However, it has just bounced back from 30 odd levels, so one can have a stop loss of 30.1 and hold on only so that from the current price of 30.75 it can go to 31.20, and that can yield some amount of profit. So on that front one can hold on, but I would not be interested in holding for extended period of time. My aggressive trades would be only about 32.5.
All right, that's the view coming in on South Indian Bank. Let's also get some trading strategies from our experts. Heyman, besides the index strategy, any specific individual stock futures that you would recommend to our viewers?
Yes, I've selected two stock-based strategies. One would be Motherson Sumi. See, what we have seen is that auto as a pack is doing very good, auto sector, but auto ancillaries have started seeing a lot of buying coming in. For me, major interesting point was the way it managed to cross back above 350, and that too on an addition with open interest. So I think now the stop loss should be kept as 348, and the target that I see is 365 on Motherson Sumi. The other is gas stocks. They are doing very good. In fact, after moving up sharply, they saw some consolidation, again movement on the upside. So I have chosen IGL particularly in that, again on based of open interest additions, and the stock now is quoting above 1500, and that is important technically. So I will keep a stop loss of 1510. Here I see a target of 1595 coming.
Okay. Gaurav, you have two calls from the financial sector, Axis Bank and Equitas. Can you take us through those?
Yeah, for Axis Bank, there has been good amount of long position that we saw from 500, 505 kind of zone, and 520 call option has a quite a significant OI concentration trading above those levels. So if it sustains 520, 525, if you look at the price pattern as well as the in comparison with the OI pattern, you will see that around 525, 526, we are seeing some unwinding happening, and it leads to again levels of 500, 505. So basically it's been trading in a range. It will be a little bit of a preemptive trade, but if it sustains 520, 525 zone, then I think the worst would be over for Axis Bank. It can head towards 550, 560 with relative ease. For trading per se, one can have a stop loss of 510 and play for as of 540. For Equitas, we have seen some sort of short covering at the lower levels. 150 put option is adding positions, so it indicates that people are now having confidence that it might not breach below 150 levels. And if some of long positions seen getting more, the way we have seen OI addition happening in Ujjivan, if in similar note we see happening in Equitas also, it can go towards 160, 165 in next 7 to 8 trading sessions. So on that front, one can have a stop loss of 150, play for targets of 165.
All right, so all 4 long calls coming on Madison Sumi, IGL, Axis Bank, as well as Equitas from Gaurav as well as Hemant. Well, before we wrap, I'll just squeeze in one more Facebook query, which we've just received from Vijay Ahir. He's got 500 shares of Vedanta at an average price of about 265. He wants to know what should he do. Hemant, we've discussed the metal counters. They are on an uptrend, and he's very much in the money. Vedanta is scoring at 322. Should he hold on or wait for higher levels?
I would still ask him to hold on, but I would keep a very tight stop loss in Vedanta. See, all the moving averages are converging at 316. So I would keep a stop loss of 316 on Vedanta. And if it crosses 327, then it will move up to 337. So if once it crosses 327, then he can revise the stop loss to 327 and hold on. My target would be 335, 337. So for the timing, he has to keep a stop loss of 316 and hold on to the positions.
All right, so that's the view coming in for Vedanta. And with that, it's a wrap on this edition of the F&O Show. I'd like to thank our guests, both Hemant and Gaurav, for joining us and taking our viewers through some of their queries and also their views on the markets.
Well, don't go anywhere. Coming up next is Hot Money with Darshan Mehta at 12 p.m. Stay tuned.